All-Star Batman, a comic that I've mentioned on multiple occasions as being my personal least favorite comic of all times. However, I want to address that everyone can have their own opinion, and I don't want to upset anyone that actually likes this comic. The story I want to discuss in this video is the All-Star Black Canary, who has sexual intercourse with Batman in front of a bunch of dead bodies, who they just murdered, and they find that a turn on. Okay, that's interesting. Now, Black Canary in the All-Star Batman and Robin series is an Irish bartender who is abused by both her employers and customers, working in a toxic work environment with men sexually assaulting her. However, this story, in my opinion, treats this poorly, as if it's the same as just working for a crappy boss. When in reality, that parallel, in my opinion, is very, very poor taste, as it's far more than that. Dinah decides to start the role of Black Canary, a Robin Hood type figure, where she steals from the poor technically and keeps it for herself, but technically they're bad guys. This is how she, of course, runs in with Batman, which ends with them having a somewhat flirtation. And in issue 7 of the series, that being All-Star Batman and Robin, Black Canary and Batman would work together to fight some crooks at the docks, where they straight up not just kill them, but set them on fire. And the two are turned on and have sex in the same panel as the dead bodies are burning behind them. Yeah. And after this, Black Canary in the series doesn't really go anywhere. I mean, yes, she does come back, but nothing really notable. Why did they have sex in front of the burning bodies? And why does it seem like they're turned on by it? It also says they keep the masks on because it's better that way. Does that imply for secret identity purposes? Or for other purposes? This, in my opinion, feels like just an attempt at shocking the reader. Which, I mean, it does that, but maybe not in the way you would want. Or maybe it's exactly the way that Frank Miller wants you to feel. If so, why? Why? No, Frank Miller has done a fair share of good writing in his day. This, in my opinion, is not one of them. I think something could have been done here with this version of Black Canary, who's constantly objectified by men. But it's done in poor taste and rushed into her having sex with Batman in front of a pile of burning bodies. Which also brings in even more questions of morality. Just, first off, typically Batman and Black Canary in the main universe don't usually kill. Both Black Canary and Batman, I believe, have made exceptions. I say I believe because sometimes those are retconned, never happen. But Batman did technically kill KG Beast. But here they seem to just be okay with murdering people, setting their bodies on fire, and making love in front of the burning bodies. And it turns them on. Now, All-Star Batman does have a lot of just out there moments, like the whole Batman painting himself yellow is typically something that is often brought up. However, this, in my opinion, is the thing that just engraved itself into my mind, because it's just so out of character for both Batman and Black Canary in canon to see them in an Elseworld story doing this. Now, some people believe that Black Canary and Batman should be paired together. Personally, I'm not on that boat. I'm in the Black Canary and Green Arrow boat, and Batman and Catwoman boat. But if you were to pair them together, why this way? Why not have Black Canary be impressed by Batman being someone that helps people like her, and that the two of them have a connection there, that she's inspired by him and he is very impressed by her? But no, instead they go burning body sex. There definitely is something here that you could have done, but they definitely went in a very different direction. Now, I've also seen some people say that this whole thing inspired the DCEU Black Canary, who has some shades of the All-Star Black Canary. I suppose I can kind of see that with the working at the bar and being socialized by men. However, Black Canary in the DCEU was shown to feel oppressed, but was still trying her best, and by the end grew to try to help people like herself. While All-Star Black Canary was only in it for herself, the only time she ever fought crime was for her own personal reasons, never really caring about anybody else. I mean, maybe you could argue Batman, but I'm not entirely sure if they cared for each other, or if they were just really turned on by the hot, steaming pile of dead bodies. Okay, this is a dark video. I've promised myself not to make too many dark videos on this kind of thing. Because another recent video I made on was Katana's children who were dead, having been burned up in a house fire. Now I'm talking about a pile of bodies being burned up by Batman and Black Canary. I need something lighter. And maybe a little more wholesome for my next video. Or maybe I'll be talking about another body being burned or bodies being burned. And that's it. Like always, please like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!